Hi, I'm Jeff Murrah, and I want to welcome you to True Texas History, where today we are going to talk about Lewis Moses Rose. Now, I went ahead and made the decision to talk about him. He's an interesting figure in the whole Alamo saga, and many people don't understand the role that he played. Because on this day, let's see, today's March the 4th, 1836. Santa Anna has called for his council of war, where he gathers his generals so he can make the plans for the final assault. They also bring their cannons up to within 200 yards of the north wall, so they're starting to squeeze it on in. Now, it was a relatively quiet day, except for that. Now, the 5th is the day when Travis gives his stirring speech and draws a line in the sand. And the only person that did not cross that line was Lewis Rose. Now, Lewis Rose was a Frenchman and a veteran of the Napoleonic campaigns. He worked his way up to an officer. He was in the French Legion of Honor for some of his roles. He was fought in the campaigns of Naples, Portugal, Spain, and the dreaded Russian campaign. And the story goes, he endured the hardships that came with the Russian campaign, even down to where they had to eat sawdust to survive. After the Napoleonic campaigns, he came to Texas, worked as a woodcutter out there near Natchitoches. He had been a participant in several of the freedom-oriented events, the Fredonian Rebellion and the Battle of Nacogdoches. And from those episodes, he developed a close friendship with Jim Bowie. And in fact, he followed Bowie to the Alamo, fought at the Siege of Bear prior to that. And by all accounts, he fought as hard as anyone else. Now, at one point, he got the name Moses because somebody asked him, or made the statement, "Moses, Rose, why don't you stay here at the Alamo and fight like everybody else?" He said he's been through hardship before, and he wasn't ready to die yet. And it's because he left that we know about the line in the sand episode and that whole sequence as to what happened. He managed to leave the Alamo. They opened a window, let him go by night. He essentially went west in a real circuitous fashion. Avoided all the roads, but managed to find his way to Grimes County, where eventually he settled down. And he shared his story as to what happened. He's one of the few, there's several eyewitnesses at the Alamo as to what happened. And Lewis Rose is one of the ones that we have those accounts from. When you look at his record of having participated in 3 other freedom-oriented uprisings in Texas, as well as the Napoleonic campaigns, he is definitely not someone who you could say is a coward. Because some people say, well, you got to be a coward if you don't step over. No, he was well experienced. He was probably more experienced in warfare than a lot of the people that were there. And many people don't know that part of the story of Lewis Rose and his contribution to Texas history. Well, I hope you enjoyed this today, and as we continue following the events of Texas war for independence. I'm constantly astounded at how Wikipedia and some of those call them Texas rebels, when they were fighting for the freedoms that they had in the Constitution of 1824, the ones that were going against the Constitution and against the law, more Santa Anna and his men. But in these days of political correctness and the cancel culture, they've got to throw negative dispersions on the Texans. We made it real clear in our Declaration of Independence what we were fighting for, and it wasn't about rebellion. We weren't trying to change the government of Mexico. We were just trying to gain our freedom and preserve the liberties that we were accustomed to. So until next time, this is Jeff Murrah wishing you vaya con Dios, my friends. Goodbye.